be known as Teams Plus. The Plus representing the incorporation of an intensified focus in these next 4 years on social inclusion, gender equality, and youth development. In other words, we are strengthening and reinforcing our teams with a no one left behind philosophy. No one will be left behind on account of their social status. No one will be left behind on account of their gender or age. We will design all of our programs and policy to ensure that everyone is carried along and is catered for. This is our solemn promise to you, Lagosians.
It's that time again. Are we too glad we take you, our audience, seriously?
Okay, but we joke around in between, talk true.
All right now, seriously. Welcome to the show. I am Agegunle Adepito.
Repeat Aside is my name, and the program is Lagos from a View.
Let's begin today's lineup with an assembly.
As Lagos moves a step further towards greater industrialization with the formerly land GAC car assembly plants,
which was inaugurated by Governor Sanwo-Olu.
I now officially the 2,000 GAC motor and base assembly plant built by GAC in conjunction with Lagos State Government as partners. So I have the honor to commission the 2,000 car itself, number 2,000.
With the 2,000 cars assembled vehicles on display, a dream conceived 3 years ago has now become a reality in the automotive industry. Visibly elated, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in company of the Chinese car manufacturing officials, inspected the automobile assembly and commended the bold initiative by the Chinese investors.
2,000 vehicle assembly today, 21st, Lagos State and the 2,000 vehicle right here in Lagos. This accomplishment is not just a testament for their expertise, but a reflection of the promising synergy between our international partners and our various local talents. In a rapidly globalized world, such collaboration are the propellers of a sustainable economic growth. The establishment of CIG Motors here is a glowing emblem of our state's openness to investment that foster job creation, skills development, wealth creation, and entrepreneurial opportunity. Today's milestone is not just a mere numeric achievement, it's also an epitome of multi-sectoral progress that stands to benefit Lagosians in various ways.
The assembling plant is the first of its kind to be built in Lagos by the Chinese company CIG in partnership with the Lagos State Government.
Your Excellency, we have plans to protect the failure plants, to protect the failures from scratches and dents in the process of smoking up the engine plants and the ground.
Chairman, CIG Motors, Diana Chen, said the journey into establishing the plant began with mutual trust and integrity to do business in Lagos. She added that there are plans to scale up the output of the plant to assemble more than 5,000 vehicles in the long run.
The factory produced 4 models of GAC cars: GA4, GS3, GS4, and GS8. At this junction, permit me to ask, why are we celebrating and what we are celebrating? For me and for us at CIG Motors, the accomplishment goes beyond the fact that in a short time, our brand has grown to become a preferred choice for most banks, organizations, governments, institutions, and individuals. We have successfully transferred the technical expertise to vehicle assemblage to Nigerians. We are proud to have you as our JV partner, Mr. Governor.
According to the officials of the Chinese investors, the car manufacturing plant has the capacity to assemble more than 50,000 vehicles and create thousands of direct and indirect jobs for residents in the state.
The first door of return has been opened, and this year, the ceremony brought the ancient city of Badagry to life.
Yes, for those of you who do not know, the Door of Return ceremony is an historic event that seeks to capture the joy of return of our brothers and sisters taken into slavery over 400 years ago.
The historic town of Badagry in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, hosted the 3rd edition of the Door of Return Festival, a symbolic annual event where diasporans of African descent were received through the same route that their forefathers were shipped from Africa as slaves to the Western world. The Door of Return Festival, put together by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission with the support of the Lagos State government, rekindled the memories of the slave trade, the evils associated with the trade, and the gravity of man's inhumanity to man, which the transatlantic slave trade represented. Many African Americans, including the popular Dr. Julius Gravy, son of the legendary Marcus Gravy, were on grounds to tour the routes where captured slaves were taken through to the point of no return in the Atlantic Ocean. Also, Dr. David Anderson, who is the founder and president of the Bridge Leaders Network and the leader of the delegation of the African Americans in 2019 to the festival, was also present this time around. Anderson was conferred the Jogbe of Badagry during the last festival, where he unveiled plans to build a royal palace which would serve as a unification and attraction to all the people in diaspora with African descent.
They are willing to come, to invite others to come, so that we all together are working to raise up and to develop Nigeria, and to raise up and to develop Africa, the way you want it to be, the way you dream of it.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said, Africa deserves to be compensated by the European nations for the pains and trauma of slavery. The governor, who was represented at the grand finale of the event by the Secretary to the State Government, Bimbola Salu Hundeyin, emphasized that the challenge of slavery had not dissuaded the black man from waxing stronger.
We are black, we are great, we are beautiful, we are strong, united in love. We will continue to forge ahead in dignity, honor, as proud members of the human race.
Dr. Julius Gravy spoke on how the festival had rekindled the memories of the horrific slave trade.
And of course, our obligations to the people of Badagry according to my text.
On her part, the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, disclosed that the festival started in 2017 to celebrate the identity, culture, history, heritage, and tradition of a given people in a given destination, usually in the primordial homeland at a given period.
We keep saying potentials and hidden. All these beautiful things should not be hidden. Let you and I play our own role to build our country, develop our country, market our country. This is what we're doing, and we're glad that Governor Sanwo-Olu has supported us for this year's event.
The 3-day event was marked by the arrival of some African diaspora guests on boats, symbolizing the return of their forefathers taken during the slave trade centuries ago, the 1.5-kilometer walk to the point of no return, and the Door of Return ceremony. According to statistics, about 10 to 28 million Africans were believed to have been shipped across the Atlantic between the 15th and 19th century for slavery in America and the Caribbean. The festival is an attempt to refocus diasporans on their homeland, was an eye-opener and a reminder of the past, which would ensure a better understanding of the past with a view to walk towards a freer and more liberal society.
This is quite significant as the month is set aside as Black History Month.
Moving on, the federal government is working with Lagos to ensure the success of vaccination aimed at curbing human papilloma virus across the metropolis.
Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Tunji Alausa, disclosed this during a visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
The visit by the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is aimed at strengthening relationship with the Lagos State government to ensure the state is better positioned to tackle any emerging public health issues before escalation.
How can we further assist and support the state to continue to do better? Because if we're able to get it well in Lagos State, we can begin to replicate this across the country.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu restated commitment to forge sustainable partnerships that portend positive development in the health sector with a view to making healthcare delivery accessible and affordable for residents.
Lagos State, is more than, ready and prepared, to come up with, all of the various steps that will ensure that health is not only accessible, it's affordable, and we will, be hoping that, some of the experiences you've picked here in Lagos, you can also use to springboard and help, spread, all of the health coverage that is needed, countrywide.
The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare thereafter set the record straight on the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer in women.
HPV vaccine is 100% safe. And as I said yesterday at my briefing, please, let's take all this junk in the social media out. This is a vaccine that has been in existence for about 18 years now. Nigeria is late to coming to adopting this vaccine. This vaccine saves life. Today we have 8,000 women dying from cervical cancer in Nigeria. This vaccine will prevent cervical cancer by 95%. It's a safe vaccine. We should encourage all young girls between the ages of 9 and 15 years to get this vaccine.
The human papilloma virus vaccination will be rolled out in Lagos on the 30th of October 2023 and is meant for girls between the ages of 9 and 14.
Let's talk some economy now. The Lagos State government has continued its series of sensitization to ensure voluntary tax compliance.
This is with a view to enhancing good governance across the metropolis, as taxes remain the major source of government revenue.
For government to carry out its civic responsibilities of providing social amenities and infrastructure to the populace, it has to be funded.
It was the turn of residents and community leaders in local government and local council development areas in Alimosho, Ikeja and Ifakoijaye to table their concerns and seek clarification with the leadership of the Lagos State Ministry of Finance on land use charge. Issues on accumulation of charges, possible waivers, as well as prompt distribution of bills and exemptions were discussed.
The sensitization program is to bring governance closer to the people by letting them know and educating them on why they should pay their taxes and why they should pay on time.
And by this, it gives the government the authority and the right to collect land use charge from residents. Every other law before this time have all been repealed.
Same law that makes it mandatory for properties in the state to pay land use charge, same those exempted under the law, also makes provision for the establishment of the tribunal for us to air our grievances as they arise with a view to have them resolved, ultimately to encourage compliance with the law.
The sensitization program offered a platform to educate participants on regulations of the Land Use Charge 2020 and how to seek redress and the Land Use Charge Assessment Appeal Tribunal when the need arises.
One thing we have been able to establish over time in dealing with property owners is that ignoring the land use charge never clears the record. Ignoring the land use charge is an act of non-compliance with the law. And as I said, it doesn't clear the records. Instead, related charges and penalties that are carried forward to subsequent years, and it ends up becoming overwhelming for the property owner.
Some participants share their views on the program.
In Nigeria today, it's so difficult for people to believe in government policies. We are the ones that are actually living among the people. So if government has a policy, it's always good that they share their policy, they introduce their policy through community leaders so that people can get a better understanding on what the benefit of government policies is designed for the people in various communities in Lagos State.
If there's any help the state government can do to make sure that help these people, maybe to reduce the charges, because there's no a law without the penalties. If you violate the law, there will be penalty, and we don't know how the length of the penalty will be. If a government could do jingles or radio advertisement, television advertisement for those who cannot read and write, but they can hear by their hearing, they can hear. They will educate them through television, through all these media. But now they give us a form that we should go and talk to our people. Badly we have enemy, and some of us will also have enemies, because they believe that we are close to the government, but they don't believe that what good for goose sometimes also good for gander.
The sensitization and awareness campaign is the fifth in the series organized by the Ministry of Finance on land use charge.
It's back and better.
What is?
The Maracana Stadium, of course.
Oh yes, and it comes as a major boost to grassroots sports development in Lagos as facility has been revived.
Now let's take you to Agegunle for this one.
Minister of Sports Development John Eno has called for more private sector participation in the provision of facilities nationwide and pledged that the federal government would support every initiative supporting the development of the nation's sports sector. The minister, who was trailed by facilities at the new-look Maracana Stadium at Agegunle during a tour of the stadium, hinted that the current administration would enter into private-public sector partnerships with individuals or organizations eager to contribute to the growth of the sector. The minister, who toured the facilities alongside the Oniru of Iru, His Royal Highness Abdulwasiu Omogbolahan Lawal, Chairman Ajeromi Felodun Council Fatai Ayola, Olu of Iwa and Apapa Kingdom, Oba Muhammadu Oluwa, Lagos State Commissioner of Youth and Social Development Mobolaji Okunlade, as well as the chairman of the Nathaniel Idowu Foundation, Chief Yemi Idowu, and other dignitaries, described the edifice as a showcase of what sports facilities should look like.
About 35 youth centers all over Lagos, right? The idea or the intention of what we need to do is to bring it up to standard and let the youths know that these facilities are there for them. We are looking at equipping the facilities just so that we can get our youths off the streets, get them to these facilities to engage in different sporting activities, from football to basketball.
You know, to find out that you can find something positive, something that you can showcase to the rest of the country, located at Agegunle, speaks quite volumes. An environment very enabling to get this to happen. So when you find government providing the enablement in terms of environment, and you find willing people who have passion and who want to develop the sport, this is what you find.
In his remarks, His Royal Highness Abdulwasiu Omogbolahan Lawal, the Oniru of Iru, whose idea it was to site the complex in Agegunle, commended the Nathaniel Idowu Foundation for keying into the idea.
With this facility, the real estate of this community will have to go up. This facility will also help a lot of talent, young talent. We discover a lot of young talent coming here to do sports. Lots of young kids, young adults coming here to enjoy themselves. And very soon, I'm sure, we will have some scouts coming to pick talent. And this is the beginning.
Also speaking on the complex, Yemi Idowu, the founder of the Nathaniel Idowu Foundation, sponsors of the reconstructed facility, commended the host community for supporting the project.
We're on a long journey. This is the beginning of a very, very long journey. I mean, we've got the football in place. We're still putting in place the hostels. Swimming pool is going to come. Basketball is going to come. Table tennis is coming. Lawn tennis is coming. And we're going to have a recreation hall, the canteen, kitchen, all these things are coming. So the more you have something to do inside here, the less social vice you have outside.
The Maracana Sporting Complex houses 19 training pitches and a standard football pitch, among other facilities.
This is where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the program.
But don't worry, we'll be here again next week with more views from Lagos.
On this note, we say, Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó.
OTD Ajumose. Odabo. Thank God.
That's a nice one, babe.
Then,
oh yeah, this come.
I love you. See you next week. Good to have you here today.
It will be known as Teams Plus. The Plus representing the incorporation of an intensified focus in these next 4 years on social inclusion, gender equality, and youth development. In other words, we are strengthening and reinforcing our teams with a no one left behind philosophy. No one will be left behind on account of their social status. No one will be left behind on account of their gender or age. We will design all of our programs and policy to ensure that everyone is carried along and is catered for. This is our solemn promise to you, Lagosians.